Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your man's Ken Jackson. It's a Ken Jackson experience. So, by now, I'm sure all of you have seen or heard of this cat, Charleston White. And most recently, his beef with T.I. and T.I.'s son, Ken. Now, I was watching just the other day, watching one of Charleston White's responses to King threatening him. And needless to say, it was hilarious. It was funny as hell. But at the same time, it wasn't funny because of the fact that T.I.'s son really did threaten to hurt this man. And not for any reason, because Charleston White didn't come at him for anything. T.I.'s son just randomly picked Charleston White to come at because, obviously, Charleston White's been trending with his videos and interviews that he's been doing all across the country. And first, before I get too far into it, let me just say I agree with a lot of what Charleston White is saying about the black culture, these rappers, these gangbangers. I agree with damn near everything he says about them because they are a major detriment to our culture. And for some reason, the black community holds these dudes up on a pedestal, you know, and our young people out here glorifying these people, you know, as if they're some sort of neighborhood heroes, when they're really not. They don't give a damn about the neighborhood. You, your kids, or anything remotely related to the black culture. All they give a fuck about is making a dollar, and they don't care who they have to hurt or kill to make that dollar. So Charleston White has put the whole hip-hop community on blast, the whole black community on blast, because the black community co-signs a lot of this bullshit. But anyway, let me get back to the topic here. So T.I.'s son threatens Charleston White. And Charleston White responds, says, look, T.I., you need to check your son. Because if your son come around me trying to put hands on me, I'm going to bury his ass. You know, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. If somebody threatens me, I'm going to be on the lookout for them. And if they come around me, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to do my best to get them first before they can get me. Believe that. And I ain't no tough guy. I'm no gangster. But I'm going to protect myself. And fortunately for me, I'm very well capable of protecting myself. But let's get back to Charleston White, because it ain't about me. So Charleston White, you know, basically said, yo, this little motherfucker comes around me, I'ma bury him. Plain and simple. Tell him to stay away from me. T.I., check your son. T.I. responds all mad, you know, and now you bringing the children into your bullshit and this and that. And you know, when you bring the children into it, you know, why don't you come at the daddy? You know, why don't you come at the daddy instead of going at the children? Because the children went at him. And let me remind y'all, yeah, King is a youngster. He's a young, stupid-ass teenager, but he's 18 years old. In the eyes of the law, he's an adult. And he wants to play adult games. He needs to suffer adult consequences. So T.I., you're wrong, because you know your son's out there fucking up. Your son went out there and said something about this man who didn't say nothing about him directly up until this point. And now there's somebody responds to the idiotic bullshit that your son threw out there. You want to get mad at this man for right now verbally defending himself. I don't understand it. I don't understand why black folks can't take responsibility for the bullshit that we do in our communities. Now, Charleston White said something, though, that really struck me. He said, ain't it something how these motherfuckers want me to respect their disrespectful ass kids, these same kids that have been disobedient and disrespectful to their parents, disrespectful to society, but you want everybody to be respectful to their little disrespectful asses? Get the fuck out of here. Seriously. King, you need to check yourself, little bro. Because you're walking down a dangerous road. You're not grown enough to understand the direction you're headed. And what's really bad is the fact that you did not even grow up the way we did. You ain't from the streets. You grew up in a fucking gated community, you know, protected by security, without a care in the world. You never had to worry about where your next meal was coming from. You never had to worry about if you was going to have a roof over your head. But your ass is out here trying to wild out like you got something to prove. You got nothing to prove. Your dad is a legend in the hip-hop game. Your dad came up the hard way. T.I. came up in the streets. He came up hard. And he busted his ass to build something so you didn't have to come up the way that he did. So again, little bro, check yourself. Check yourself. Because it may not end well for you. And before you trolls come at me, let me tell you something. I mean what I say. I'm not co-signing none of the bullshit. Because like I said, I agree with a lot of what Charleston White's talking about. You niggas out here in the streets, you don't love the black community. You don't love your hood. Makes no sense why when I walk out the door every day, I have to be more fearful of what somebody that looks like me is going to do to me than I've ever had to worry about a white man. And the rest of the black community needs to understand that. Regardless of what history has done, we ain't living in history. We're living in right now. We're living in the present. And presently, the enemy lives within. I'm your man's Ken Jackson. This has been my daily rant. Yo, check me out. Subscribe to the channel. Crazy Baby TV World right here on YouTube. I love y'all. Everybody be safe. Have a nice day. See you next time. I'm out.